Rattan owned a donkey. Not out of love. Not out of care. Just because he needed one. The donkey had no name. He was just called Oi. He carried heavy loads, worked all day under the burning sun, and slept in the corner of the courtyard with no roof over his head. Rattan never thanked him. To Rattan, he was just a tool. Until one night, when Rattan's house caught fire. The villagers screamed. Flames rose high. People ran. And in that moment, when everything was collapsing, it wasn't his family. It wasn't his neighbors. It wasn't even the fire brigade. It was that same donkey, Oi, who ran into the fire. What happened next made Rattan fall to his knees. And everything in his heart changed forever. The full story. Rattan lived in a dusty village in Rajasthan. He ran a small business carrying bricks and sand from one place to another for builders. But Rattan didn't own a truck or a cart. He had one thing, a donkey. He had bought the donkey 5 years ago at a fair. He didn't even remember how much he paid. All he remembered was that it was cheap. He never gave the donkey a proper name. Just Oi. Oi, move faster. Oi, stand up. Oi, stop eating, we have work. That was the donkey's life. Day in and day out. Work. 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 No love. No break. No soft hand over his head. He ate dry leftovers, drank muddy water, and slept beside a broken wall. Rattan had a wife and 2 sons. But none of them cared about the donkey either. They were too busy complaining about how hard life was. Rattan, why don't you buy a truck like others? Rattan, why is there never enough money? But Rattan didn't have answers. So he worked harder. And made the donkey work even harder. Sometimes the donkey would fall on the road, exhausted. People would stop and say, give him some rest, Rattan. He's old now. But Rattan would just shout, he's fine. Just lazy. Nobody knew that the donkey's legs trembled at night. That his eyes were full of silent tears. That his heart still waited for a little kindness. But kindness was rare in Rattan's world. Until everything changed. One night, the village was quiet. Rattan and his family were asleep. But Oi was awake. He often didn't sleep at night. His body hurt too much. So he just stood under the stars, swatting flies with his tail, listening to the silence. That night, something smelled strange. Smoke. The donkey turned his head toward the house. The smoke got thicker. Then came the fire. A loose electric wire had sparked near the kitchen. It touched the dry wooden beams. Flames burst out like monsters. Within seconds, half the house was on fire. Inside, Rattan, his wife, and 2 sons were fast asleep. The donkey neighed loudly. Once. Twice. No one heard. So he did something no one expected. He broke the weak rope tied to his neck and ran straight into the fire. Inside the fire, the heat was unbearable. The flames licked the walls. The windows exploded. The smoke choked the air. The donkey rushed to the front door and began kicking it with his legs. Thud. 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 Rattan's wife woke up. She coughed, ran to the children, and screamed, Rattan. Fire. Panic. They ran toward the door, but it wouldn't open. The lock had melted. Oi kicked harder. Again and again. Finally, the door burst open. The family ran out, coughing, crying, trembling. And then, silence. Where's Rattan? His wife cried. He wasn't there. He had gone to sleep in the back room that night. And the roof was already falling. No one could go in. But someone did. Oi. The donkey turned around, looked at the smoke-filled house, and ran inside. People screamed, no. He'll die. But he didn't stop. A miracle in the fire. Rattan was half conscious. Smoke filled his lungs. He couldn't move. And then, something soft nudged his hand. The donkey. Through burning smoke, Oi found him. He grabbed Rattan's shirt with his teeth and pulled. 1 step. 2 steps. 3 steps. The roof cracked. But just before it collapsed, they rolled out of the door. Rattan lay on the ground, coughing and crying. The donkey collapsed beside him, breathing hard, eyes closing. The villagers stood frozen. A moment of silence. Then claps. Then tears. That night, the village didn't talk about the fire. They talked about the donkey. The morning after, Rattan sat beside the donkey with red eyes. He hadn't slept. Oi lay on a blanket. His back was burned. His legs swollen. The vet had come. He might not survive, he said. Rattan said nothing. He held the donkey's head in his lap and whispered, "I'm sorry." Tears rolled down his face. For the first time in his life, he cried for someone else. His son stood behind him, shocked to see their father like this. "I didn't see you," Rattan said. "All these years. You gave me everything. And I gave you nothing." He fed Oi warm milk with his hands. Covered him with his own shawl. The villagers came. Some brought medicine. Some just came to sit near the donkey. Because Oi wasn't a donkey anymore. He was a hero. A week later, the donkey survived. Barely. But he did. And when he stood up, weak and slow, the entire village clapped. From that day forward, things changed. Rattan built a shed for him with his own hands. Clean, shaded, with fresh straw. He bought him the best food. He gave him a name, Zinda. Because he gave us life, Rattan said. The message that touched the world. Someone from the village recorded the story and posted it online. Within days, the story went viral. News channels came. Reporters arrived. NGOs offered support. But when asked what reward he wanted, Rattan pointed to Zinda and said, "I already got my reward. I got my heart back."